Get the radio fired up. Give me a second.
You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
Oh, it's good to be back. You have got to come up with a stop. Find the shoot. Turner. He puts it down. Miles Turner with the biggest shot of his season. And Indiana is up 9. Conference finals here for the taking.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Hump Day Wednesday edition of the Pete Sheppard Show. 64-win Cleveland Cavaliers. Bye-bye. See ya. They lose last night. We'll break it all down for you. OKC comes back and beats Denver. Man, we got a lot going on. Results of Jason Tatum's MRI, Celtics, Knicks. We got NFL schedule stuff. We got college football news. Bill Belichick speaks. And we have it's Pete Rose. He's dead, but now he's eligible for the possibly eligible for the Hall of Fame. We'll get to all of that. So is Shoeless Joe Jackson and some of his former teammates from the Black Sox scandal back in 1919. Unbelievable. So much to discuss today. Thanks for checking us out across the Coastal Sports Network video platform. Checking me out at PShep326 on Twitter and X. On the Facebook pages, Coastal Sports Network Facebook page, my Facebook page, YouTube, Kick, Rumble, CSN Florida, LinkedIn, and call or text the show, 727-858-6650. And also check out the great app that we have, SR1029 The Game, SR1029thegame.com. Great show lined up for you today. Patrick Gilroy will join me next hour at 8:05. We'll really start to get into the Celtics and the Knicks and Game 4 tonight, and I have the Celtics pride is never going to be more on display tonight. I still think they can win this series without Jason Tatum. I'll get into it because I think they're that talented. But certainly tonight, that place is going to be, the Garden is going to be beyond absolutely electric. The Cavaliers stunned in 5. I'm not stunned. I thought Cavs were in 7. Again, it's one of those things where the national media, instead of talking about the Indiana Pacers all year long and teams like that, they'd rather focus on the Lakers, who get bounced in the first round, like I thought they would. And then they have the nerve to act surprised. Well, this is the same team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year before the Celtics swept them, and they're healthier now than they were back then, and they're a damn good team. But we'll get into that. Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Rob Manfred, reinstatement. But we'll tell you, does that really mean they're going to get into the Hall of Fame? Because some of these baseball writers, many of them, they hold grudges, and they're rules people. We'll see. Some shenanigans last night on TNT. Dwight Howard and Jalen Rose were there instead of Shaq and Kenny. Some good stuff there. And a lot more. Florida and Toronto tonight. Game 5 of their Stanley Cup playoff series. A huge one in Toronto. Will the Maple Leafs continue to collapse? I say yes, because that's what they always do. They collapse. They've lost 2 in a row. After winning 2 in a row at home, they lost 2 in a row in Florida, and now they get to have Game 5 at home. And they best be careful if they get down in this one early. Going to be really, really interesting as well. Bill Belichick, as I said, he spoke yesterday. He's going to speak again today. The ACC coaches meetings are going on in Amelia Island in Florida. And Angel Martinez is standing on his chair. Good morning. Good morning, Angel. How are you? What's going on over there in Tampa?
Well, not much other than I'm trying to get something new here set up, and I have to make adjustments on the fly nonetheless. But good morning here to everyone. Good day. By the way, yesterday, for some odd reason, and I don't know why, it was kind of not from our doing, but apparently we lost a feed yesterday from your Twitter, my Twitter. I don't know why it was one of those freaky things, but it did keep up on CSN Florida. So that's why we have multiple ways for you guys to watch and listen and all the good fun stuff. But yeah, it was just kind of weird. But I'm trying to get other.
I didn't lose it on my Twitter. That didn't.
Yeah,
I checked it afterwards.
No, afterwards, yeah, because it rolled through from CSN Florida. It was weird. Debbie walked in, the producer, and she was telling me that she goes, "Hey, do you guys see you stopped there on Twitter?" But anyways, it was a freakish thing. Don't know what in the world that was all about, but nonetheless, we're here. It's what is it? Wednesday? Hump Day? No,
Hump Day Wednesday, baby.
Holy
We
crap.
are already almost halfway through the month of May. It is May 14th. And man, I mean, you talk about a smorgasbord of sports topics to talk about. And we'll hopefully get to at least touch on many of them, but unbelievable. By the way, seeing this, Tampa Bay is going to be at the Rams on Thanksgiving night, week 13, Thanksgiving night. The NFL schedule comes out today. It's going to be really interesting because the Celtics Knicks are on TNT tonight at 7 o'clock. ESPN at 7 o'clock has got hockey. It's got the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so, the schedule, the official schedule, which I'm sure there's going to be tons of leaks between now and then, will come out tonight. But it's probably going to have to watch on NFL Network or maybe ESPN2 or ESPNU. I don't know. But anywho. There's just a lot going on. We got to begin in the NBA. We got to begin with the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. Unbelievable that they lose 3 games at home. They lose last night 114 to 105. The Pacers really took it to them down the stretch. And here's some of the highlights.
4-point lead. Jerome blocked by Halliburton. Halliburton on a push to the cup, lays it up and in. Tyrese Halliburton at both ends.
But it's the block shot here by Halliburton that leads to the push out in transition. And you can see the slap down there.
Yeah, he was awesome last night. We'll get to more of that in a second here. And stupid me, because the Celtics yesterday they announced yesterday that Jason Tatum underwent a successful surgery to repair the ruptured right Achilles tendon yesterday afternoon. He suffered it in the fourth quarter, as we all saw. We only saw it afterwards. Nobody really saw it because it happened so fast, and it was a non-contact injury. But when we showed the video, we're not going to show it again. But everybody's seen it now. It's just it's just crazy how that happened after Jaylen Brown turned the ball over. The team said the surgery was successful and no timetable was available for his return. But again, in the midst of one of his best playoff games of his career, he had 42 points, 16 to 28 shooting, crumbled to the ground in immense pain. Obviously, 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the big question is, when is he going to be able to come back? I'm not playing a doctor, but I certainly these can be. He'll come back. I don't know at what success rate he's going to come back. There's been a lot of guys that have had this type of injury before. Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, among others. Recently, and by recently I mean like 6 to 10 years, and they've come back. But at what capacity? I don't expect Jason Tatum to be back with the Celtics until Christmas of next year. That's my official guesstimation. So, the history of Achilles injuries in the NBA. Jason Tatum with 27, age that returned, don't know yet. Kevin Durant, and I think Chuck is going to talk about this later, Charles Barkley. Kevin Durant had about 6 years ago, at the age he was injured was 30, and he didn't come back until he was 32 years old. That's 2 years later. DeMarcus Cousins, he was 27. He came back the next year at 28. Rudy Gay, same thing. He was 30, came back when he was 31. Wesley Matthews was 28 years old, came back at 29. Kobe Bryant had it 34 years old, came back at 35. Chauncey Billups had it at 35, came back the next year at 36. Elton Brand had it at 28, came back the next year when he was 29 years old. LaFonso Ellis, 26 years old, came back at 27. And Dominique Wilkins was 32 and came back the same year. So it all depends. I mean, Tatum's in the prime of his career. He's in great shape. Hopefully he can heal faster than most others, but you just don't know. You don't know. it's thoughts and prayers go his way, and hopefully that he will be back in action sooner rather than later. I will be pleasantly surprised if it's before next Christmas. That's all I could say. And when he does come back, hopefully he will be at a pretty good capacity. I saw one study that came out yesterday that guys who suffer with this injuries, professional athletes that suffer this injury, particularly NBA players, coming back at full capacity is only about 27% of the time.
Oof.
That's how bad that's how bad these injuries can be. So hopefully he will be in that 27%. But we'll see what happens tonight. We'll get into it more. I'll get into this game more tonight with Patrick Gilroy next hour. I'm going to concentrate on what happened last night around the NBA Stanley Cup playoffs. Bill Belichick speaking about Jordan Hudson or not speaking about Jordan Hudson. And he's going to speak, I believe he's speaking again this afternoon at 2:05 on the ACC network as the coaches meetings are down here at Amelia Island. Never been to Amelia Island. Have you?
D.
You have?
Yeah, it's closer to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is close to me. But I haven't been there. Yeah.
Well, we usually, my lovely wife and I, we like to take field trips to explore Florida and figure out where places are. But yeah, it's a nice place.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure. Rick M says, good morning. Damn, it's early.
Yeah.
Why is it early? 7? No, it's not early. 7 o'clock. Come on, man. Rise and shine. We're up with the Roosters, baby.
Sure.
5 o'clock in the morning. Get her done. I go through all the scores. I do my New York Times Wordle, and then off I am, have my coffee outside in the lanai with Elaine and Luna. Great stuff. Anyway, beautiful. It was warm yesterday down here, obviously, but beautiful day. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day today. Still need some rain. Hopefully that's coming sooner rather than later. Okay, let's continue with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were knocked out of the postseason last night by the Indiana Pacers. Here's another great highlight from the Pacers.
Cleveland only has one more foul left to give. With still 7.5 left. Siakam crashing to the basket. For Cleveland.
And you see they overextend defensively, and then Siakam able to attack. If you're Mobley in that situation, you got.
Yeah, again, Pascal Siakam had 21, Halliburton had 31, and it's the Pacers reaching the conference finals in consecutive years for the first time since 2013, 2014. Donovan Mitchell, who missed the second half on Sunday's game due to a sprained left ankle, led Cleveland with 35 points. Evan Mobley added 24 and 11. And the top-seeded Cavs swept their first-round series against Miami, but were unable to match the fast-paced tempo of the Indiana Pacers. Absolutely unbelievable. And after the game, Donovan Mitchell, despondent.
They've been there. We had some mental lapses. And they capitalized. And those can change a series. You lose game 1, you're chasing the series. Game 2 happens. Chasing, and you give a lot of energy game 3, and then game 4, find an uphill battle against a team that has the fastest pace in league history. Yeah.
I saw that you went back out on that court a little bit after the final buzzer. What was going through your mind at that point? What were you trying to process?
Just couldn't believe it. Didn't want to believe it, don't want to believe it. Still don't want to believe it. It's tough. It's tough to win this league. Give them credit. We didn't do the things necessary. I love playing in that fucking arena, man. That energy, that crowd. We're 0-3 at home. Let the city down, man. This place is special. This place is really special. And we didn't get it done, Chris. I guess
Nothing special in Cleveland.
especially at home. That's what hurts,
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Tyrese Halliburton says, we're different than any other team in the NBA.
Discover Suite Collections.
Hello.
We're different than every other team in the NBA. You know, we don't just have one guy who scores all the
Sweet
points.
collection.
Or, you know, I think we defeat teams in different ways. We move the ball. The ball is flying. We got a lot of different guys making shots, making plays. And we've preached our depth all, for the last couple of years, and it's paying off now. So, I had a great game, but I think a big part of that was guys were finding me, putting me in the right spots, and we didn't panic after that rough start to the first quarter. We knew they were going to throw a punch. We talked about that. We knew that they were going to, throw a haymaker there, but I thought we weathered the storm the right way and got going from there. So really proud of our effort and, proud of this group.
All right, yeah, Indiana again beats Cleveland 114-105 in Cleveland, where it's special, and win the series 4-1. Meanwhile, and again, the Cavs had a 19-point lead in this one. No one's talking about. I know the Celtics get more criticized for it. You know how many double-digit leads the Cavs have blown in this series? Just as many as the Celtics. 19-point lead. They jump out to a 19-point lead last night in the second quarter. They're up 44-25 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go. And they got creamed after that, and they got 3 All-Stars on their team too with Cleveland. And everybody's like, what are they going to do? They're going to panic, blah, blah. And I think back to the days of, the Lakers, the Lakers, 76ers, Celtics, back in those days. I mean, they can't win it every year, all 3 of those teams, although they were all in it from basically 1980 to 1990. They were all in it, at least, every single year. But you don't panic and want to trade everybody or make all these dramatic changes. Cleveland won 64 games. And is it an epic failure? I don't know if it's epic. I just look at it like maybe they're this year's versions of OKC. OKC seems to have got their shit together and moving on. And maybe Cleveland next year is going to be possibly their year. I just wouldn't panic if I'm the Cavaliers ownership. They won 64 games. The season was a failure. You don't win 64 games and get bounced in the second round like they get beat up at home like they did and lose 3 games. But I would not. I'm not panicking. I'm not like changing everything up. There's some things that need to be tweaked. That is blatantly obvious. And maybe it's just a matchup problem. The way the Pacers played them. Maybe it's just a matchup problem. We'll see. I'm hoping my Celtics get a chance at them too. I'm still not counting them out in this series by any stretch of the imagination. I think they'll have a monster game tonight. The place is going to be going nuts, and it'll be all Celtic pride. We'll hear from Chuck in a second. Let's continue, though, with OKC. Rick says, going to need Celtics to win. Too many Knicks trash-talking fans at my job. Well, it's all they got. They haven't won shit in decades. So, but I think they're in for big trouble tonight. The Knicks are. OKC in Denver, excellent basketball game, 112-105. OKC wins. Here is some big time highlights.
SGA on the feed. Dort the 3. Money.
To the paint has caused all kind of problems.
Lou Dort bangs it home. Williams swing to Williams. This is the bigger Jalen on a kick. Lou Dort got a 3.
Yep, they had 3 straight triplets to bring OKC within 92-90, and then they just kind of took off from there. But I'll tell you what. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah. Well, one person who was just unbelievable last night, as usual, was the Joker.
His team is down by 3. Pirouettes, tosses it up. Oh! Joker's wild! We are tied at 103.
Iron Eagle with the call last night as well. And but not enough. I mean, he was absolutely unbelievable last night. 44 points, 17 to 25 shots, 44 points and 15 rebounds from Nikola Jokic. I mean, just unbelievable. But not enough. SGA was outstanding last night as well. For the Thunder, he had 31 and 6. Williams had 18 and 9. Hartenstein had 15 and 7. Holmgren had 14 and 8. Dart had 12 and 3. And Caruso had 13 and 4. And they are to me, I've been talking about it all season long. The Celtics, to me, had the most depth, but not by much. OKC is right there, and they got 5, 6, 7 guys that can score double digits at any given time. So they're on the verge. We'll see. They can close them out. They can close out Denver. I think it's tomorrow night. But OKC leads this series 3-2. Again, this game was tied at 103, and then the Thunder just absolutely pulled away. Let me see. I'm gonna get some video here. Oh, and by the way, ESPN, take that stupid promo off with Jason Tatum and the Superman movie coming out on July 11th. When something like that happens to a great player, it's just like if you're advertising on an airline and there's a plane crash, God forbid, they pull the commercials off of all radio and TV for a certain amount of time. Same thing that should happen here. Jason Tatum, I don't want to see that commercial about Superman. Again, that should have been taken off the air. I don't know why they keep hyping it and running it. Somebody's not doing the job or does not understand there's a protocol in this business when stuff like that happens. You don't run. It's insulting to watch that. It should have been pulled immediately. So once again, ESPN and others who are running that spot are fucking up big time. It's embarrassing. And shame on you for running it. Get it off. It's broadcasting protocol. It's not, and I'd say that if it could be anybody. If that was Donovan Mitchell went to Superman commercial, I'd say the same. He got hurt, I'd say the same thing. But you don't run spots like that once the featured player is out for till next year, more than likely. It's just ridiculous. So wake up, people in the business. Pull that spot. It's unbelievable. Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's scroll down. Let me see okay, scroll down. NBA on TNT. First call I would make is to Kevin Durant. That's what Charles Barkley thinks that Jason Tatum should do, and I agree because, as I pointed out a few minutes ago, Durant went through this 6 years ago. So here's Charles Barkley on talking about the Celtics and Jason Tatum.
It's really unfortunate, but the thing that sucks, you probably have done that a million times in your life, and you're like, that time you blow out Achilles. That's a play you make 1,000 times a game. You just push off your leg,
Right.
And so injuries is just the luck of the draw. First call I would make is to Kevin Durant, because same thing I told Wembanyama about the blood clot. My first call would have been to Chris Bosh. Because if I'm Jason, I call Kevin Durant. I think I saw today Kevin Durant is 6 years removed from the time he blew out his Achilles, and he's still a hell of a player. So that's the first person I would call. Says, hey, tell me about what's going to happen, and how to start the rehab. I mean, obviously you got your own doctors, but the best experience is somebody who's already experienced it before. That'd be the first call I would make to Kevin Durant. It's really unfortunate, but.
All right. So, and also, if we could scroll down 2 from there, Angel. Once again, the boys on TNT. Who I thought was, the boy is Jalen Rose, Chuck, and Ernie, and Dwight Howard was there as well last night, and they talked about tonight's game between the Knicks and the Celtics.
Is that
NBA on TNT? It says Celtic Pride.
okay? I just want to make sure it was the right one.
I have 2 words, Celtic pride, is going to be on display tomorrow. So many banners hanging in the rafters. They're the defending world champions. Their brother got injured on a non-contact injury. They understand that they may not possibly win this series, but they can't lose it like this at home.
Yeah.
I feel like the Celtics going to find a way to get it done.
Ernie, I'm not a big documentary guy. But that Celtic City thing is tremendous.
Oh, the Bill Simmons.
The Bill Simmons thing is tremendous. Whoever, Bill Simmons obviously, but man, it was fantastic. But the thing about it is, Larry Bird says, when you put on the Celtic uniform, it means something. And I don't think they're going to lose. I don't know if they can win the series, but I do. I think they're going to win tomorrow. I think playing at home, but Porzingis is the guy who's got to step up. I mean, Jalen going to do his thing. Drew Holiday, Derek White, and everybody. Well, Porzingis is the one guy. He's got to become the second best player. Instead of being the third best player or fourth best player somewhere there, he's got to be the second best player after Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I just don't know. I'm hoping he physically is able to do it with this upper respiratory issue that he's been battling. They're going to need him to play 30-plus minutes tonight. I believe that. I don't know, but I don't know if he's capable of doing it. I don't know if he's capable of playing 30-plus minutes. If not, I mean, he's got to at least play. He's going to play 20-plus. He has to. And he's got to at least get double-double. He has to at least get 10, 12, 15 points, 10 boards, and be a factor on defense. And I think usually when he's out there, he usually is. He was not that way 2 nights ago. He was doing Olay stuff. He didn't look like himself. So he's got to step it up. JB's got to step it up. There's no question, and I think he will. This is why you get the big bucks, Jalen. You got to put everybody, as Cedric Maxwell once said, jump on my back, boys. I'll carry you. And then, Derek White and the Pritchards of the world. Sam Hauser's still not going to play. Al Horford. Everybody needs to step up their game. There's no question about it. And they got the talent to do it. They played plenty of teams this year without 1, 2, or 3 starters in the lineup in one. Now, the playoffs are different, but they have emotion on their side tonight. They're going to have an incredibly fired up home crowd. It's going to be absolutely beyond electric in the Garden. So I really expect the Celtics to win. They're a 4.5-point favorite. I'd jump all over it. I would lay the 4.5 because I think JB and I do think Porzingis are going to step it up big. And I know Pritchard and White will. They always do in situations like this. So we'll see. But I expect, and it's a 7 o'clock game, which is good. The only thing that kind of sucks is the NFL schedule thing is going to be released. But like I said, by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, you can put the pieces and the puzzles together. You'll be able to figure out your favorite team and who they're going to play. All right, let's shift gears a little bit, if I may. Well, actually, let's play it. Let's do this. One more. Is this another breaking news? This is Vikings at the Chargers, Week 8, Thursday Night Football. Minnesota at LA, Week 8, Thursday Night Football. All right, if we could, let's do some shenanigans a little bit. Okay, it's 2 under the show, Angel. Last night, Dwight Howard filling in for Shaq. Jalen Rose has filled in plenty of times on this show. I think this is Dwight Howard's debut on this show last night. But Chuck was annoyed with him. And I can understand why.
Oh boy.
I really enjoyed it, but I got a problem with you, Dwight. Ernie, guess what he asked me in the back?
How much do you weigh?
No. See, hey, we got to tilt that. This dude asked me about Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I said,
about playing against Wilt?
I said, dude, how old do you think I am?
I did ask you.
I know you did. I'm like, dude, how old do you think I am?
After I asked the question, I thought about it. I said, Chuck ain't that old.
Okay, thank you.
Class of 84.
That's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really trying to start some conversation because I'm like, man, this Chuck, man.
We were having a great conversation in the back then. I said, because it caught me off guard. I said, how old does this dude think I am?
Is that why you put the headphones on?
I said, yeah, man, we're done talking for the night.
Man, did he have some battles with George Michael?
That's right. I was killing George Michael in the post. I really enjoyed it. But
Oh, man, absolutely great stuff. Great stuff. All right, Angel, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, let's go. We got Bill Belichick. We'll have you hear what he's said yesterday on ESPN about North Carolina football and Jordan Hudson still getting a lot of play. We'll see what you guys think. We have the reinstatement by Rob Manfred for Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson and company. We'll get your reaction about that. Major League Baseball highlights: the Red Sox blew it last night again, gave up a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 11th of walk-off. But we have MLB stuff to talk about as well, and some NFL schedule news. Also, and some college football schedule news that came out yesterday. We'll get into that. All part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on a Hump Day Wednesday on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Sheppard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
I'm gonna live till I die.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna laugh instead of cry.
Pete Sheppard Show here on Hump Day.
Take the town and turn it upside down. I'm
People are probably saying,
live until I
why are
die.
you playing Frank?
They're gonna say,
First of all,
what a guy.
the best ever.
I'm gonna play
Number one.
for the sky. Ain't gonna miss
Most underrated song is this.
fling. I'm gonna live until
It's just
I
unbelievable.
die.
And because
I lay low, I'll make 'em stay
Frank
low.
Sinatra passed
They'll
away on
never
this day,
trail
May
over my
14th,
head.
back
I'll
in
be a
1998 at the age of 82. Man.
Hallelujah, gonna dance, gonna fly.
I had the privilege of seeing him towards the end at the Providence Civic Center when he was reading off the teleprompter and everything else, but it was still unbelievable. I've never been to a concert in my life with, 16,000 people, and pretty much everybody was dressed up, like with a tie and a coat and everything else. It was really unbelievable. Never seen anything like it. And I remember the night that he died, May 14th, 1998, Angel. So I was took a date, don't even remember, but we went to see Elton John at the Garden. And, of course, Blue Eyes was pretty much written about Frank Sinatra. And the night he died was the same night we went to see the concert in Boston with Elton John. And about halfway through, he did a tribute to Frank Sinatra and sang Blue Eyes. And it brought the house down. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. They had a big, huge screen in the back and all these, Sinatra highlights and everything else. It was probably my most memorable concert experience ever. And I've seen a lot of the great ones, Bruce Springsteen and stuff. They're all excellent. But as far as a moment goes, that had to be right up there. That was really, really something. It was emotional as hell. But glad I got to see Frank Sinatra, and it's just by coincidence, unfortunately, that Elton John was playing that night in Boston and did a tribute to him. It was just fantastic.
That's
just
pretty
fantastic.
amazing. Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity of seeing Frank, but that's good that you did. And speaking of Italian, by the way, have you seen the movie on Netflix called Nonas?
Nonas I watched it yesterday, and phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. I cried like a baby at the end. I knew I was gonna, because it just reminds me of my whole family. A lot of them are not here anymore, but I text my cousin Patricia in Rhode Island right away, and I'm like, Pat, you gotta see this. She actually thought it was a series. I said, no, it's a 2-hour movie, and it's so well done. Vince Vaughn was so good. Vince Vaughn is also part Italian, believe it or not. He's Italian, Irish, and German, and he's even got some Lebanese blood in him, I believe. But he is. It was phenomenal. Talia Shire, Lorraine Bracco, Brenda Vaccaro. How about that?
Yeah.
And then Linda. What's her last? Not Scalabrini. Mrs. Hawkeye from the Avengers. I have to call her Mrs. Hawkeye from the Avengers, who's been in a couple of things. She was fantastic. She played Vince Vaughn's girlfriend. It was really, really well done. So I take it you and Deb watched it.
Yeah, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. Listen, that movie tugs on your heartstrings big time. If for those who have hearts, but
and you don't even have to be Italian. It's about family, and and what I really loved, which I did not expect at the end, is the credits that rolled, and they had the actual highlights of what was going on in the restaurant.
Yeah,
and phenomenal. The real people that were doing it, and now they have Nonas there from all over the world. It's not just Italian, because I looked at the menu, which is not cheap, by the way, but I would like to go over to Staten Island someday. I told a bunch of friends here yesterday, I was like, I'm like, we should all take a trip to Staten Island. And,
I definitely would, because that place looked great. I mean, at first, like, man, that freaking sucks if it doesn't work out. But thankfully, I guess that food critic ended up eating the food and obviously liked it, and then send a decoy in for the review. But man, if you guys have not watched it, watch it on Netflix. That is one hell of a good movie.
Yeah, it is. It's and like you said, it tugs at the heart. And I don't want to, give too much of it away. Drea Matteo was in it from The Sopranos. Remember?
Yep.
She was Michael Imperioli's girlfriend. She was great. The whole thing was so well done. I can't stress enough. And I expect there's going to be some Emmys next year that come out of it. It was that well done. Anyway. All right, back here on the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. Sticking with the NBA for just a little bit. Adam Silver on the potential schedule changes. This from Sirius XM NBA Radio.
There's nothing wrong with competition. We don't own Christmas, even though we've been playing on Christmas Day for 75 years in our league. So there's this huge tradition of playing on Christmas Day. I remember even growing up in New York as a Knicks fan, looking forward to those games on Christmas. A long tradition. The Knicks have been playing on Christmas as well. But I think competition keeps you on your toes. The NFL sees an opportunity on Christmas. I accept that. But to your question, I think we'll continue to look at our schedule. I mean, even the All-Star game itself has creeped later over the years. Maybe that's a little bit of the issue in terms of the competition that I think the guys and the signals from their teams in many cases is that's valuable rest as you're competing and getting ready to go into the home stretch there. Maybe there's an opportunity to move that around to create interest at a different point in the season. There's been some discussion around Christmas Eve. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I think given Christmas has been such a tradition in our league and guys have known that there are no games on Christmas Eve and that's an opportunity to be with their family. So I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Didn't the NFL play on Christmas Eve last year and Christmas Day?
Sure did.
I think so.
The first one.
I think so.
Yeah, that was the first one. Because remember, we talked about it was on Netflix.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think around Christmas week, we had a football NFL game every day of the week.
Yeah, we sure did.
So, and Adam Silver, better get real because you got crushed in the ratings last year with the NFL. Crushed. And that was with games on Netflix, remember?
Yeah.
All 3 games are going to be on Netflix, and you still got creamed. So, trust me, football is king. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's why LeBron got all pissed off because he was like, that's our day. He was like, nah, it belongs to the NFL now.
Yep. If we could scroll down a little bit more, Angel, let me see. Trying to see. Let's go down and because I want to cram as much in as we can before Patrick Gilroy comes on at the top of the hour. If we go down to awful announcing, Bill Belichick in his first TV interview since the CBS Mornings debacle says Jordan Hudson doesn't have anything to do with North Carolina football. Yep.
Right.
Way and make the most of it.
All right, so I know that you're aware that your relationship with Jordan Hudson has been a headline over the last few months. And all of the specifics aside, because a lot has come out in the last couple of days, how do you think that impacts your ability to coach this football team, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's, really off to the side. It's a personal relationship, and she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football. I'm excited to be back in the coaches' meetings and getting ready for, June, and then August when we get to training camp. So June will be a big recruiting month for us, and then August we'll start getting ready for the season.
And I know that you're not on social media and you don't read as much as everybody else has seen, but when it comes to having conversations with your players, have you been able to talk about any of those things and the specifics of what's going on off the field?
Yeah, no, I talk to the players, and when we meet with them, when they come in to visit and so forth, sure.
And how have those conversations gone?
Yeah, great. Well, again, we want to make the players the best that they can be, provide them the best opportunity on and off the field, and that's what we're about at UNC, and that's what we're going to do the best for every single player we have.
Okay.
All right. I give him credit for asking the question and everything else, but, he's not going to – that's about all he's going to say. At least he didn't look disgusted or he didn't look annoyed with the asking of the question, and I forget her name, but she's a good reporter. And again, this was at Amelia Island, which is not too far from me, as the ACC spring meetings were being held yesterday and today. So, but the other thing that came out of this is Bubba Cunningham last week. There were reports by The Athletic that Bubba Cunningham told ESPN on Tuesday There had never been any push to keep Hudson away from the athletic department or facilities. He said, quote, Bill's been great to work with. He talked about practicing like a pro, and he runs a professional organization that is teaching students how to be professional in all aspects of life. He is a very determined professional individual, and that's the way he carries himself and the way he conducts the program. Asked directly whether he was worried about distractions, Cunningham said, quote, Bill is an incredibly focused person. So Pablo Torre is adamant that he thought Bill Belichick may not even make it to week 1. But listening to Bubba Cunningham, certainly that doesn't appear to be the case. So I don't know. Pablo and the Athletic put themselves out there because they're the only ones that we know there's no question to me there was distractions going on. And there's no question that some sort of a ban was imposed. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying, electric fence to keep her out of the facility, but I don't think you're going to see her on the field anymore. Let's put it that way, because that is absolutely ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous, embarrassing. It's embarrassing enough that he's 73 and she's 24. I mean, I can't get over it. I really can't get over it. And anywho, he said, everything we do is a pro model. Head coach, general manager, and we want the players to develop professionally in every aspect. But it would be interesting to be a fly on the wall to see exactly what the players think about this whole situation. And if indeed she was a distraction, because all it takes is one to leave the transfer portal and go, and somebody's going to open their mouth and say, yeah, it was unbearable. But I don't know. On the surface right now, it seems to be okay. We'll have to wait and see. There's a long way to go before we find out and see what happens with Bill Belichick in North Carolina. But they will play opening weekend when they take on TCU.
You would probably know a little more than most folks, Pete. But do you think? I mean, I know personal relationship as far as Bill ever having with someone else, but if it ever came down to where he felt she was getting too involved, do you think Bill will pull the plug, or is it one of these things for some reason he wants her just to hang around?
You know what? I don't know. You know what they say about the big head and the little head, right? So I really don't know. Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
I don't know how whipped he is. I really don't.
Right.
I would be stunned if he let this woman come in and be a distraction to his coaching ability and quote unquote legacy and all that stuff. Some may say she's already tarnished it. I'm not sure that's the case yet. We'll see. It's all going to depend on results on the field. But it certainly looks like right now that the Athletic may be eating some crow, because it certainly seems like Bill Belichick will be coaching in week 1. But look, it's only May. Get 3 more months. Speaking of that, the SEC-ACC opening weekend kickoff broadcast, August 30th on Saturday. Syracuse at Tennessee go at it in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at noon on ABC. Alabama at Florida State, 3:30 on ABC. What an opening game there. And then at nighttime, this is all August 30th, Saturday. LSU at Clemson, 7:30 on ABC. And that will have playoff implications right out of the gate. And then Sunday, August 31st, South Carolina, Virginia Tech at 3 p.m. I think there are a couple other ones out there as well. By the way, YouTube will exclusively stream the Friday night Week 1 game of the 2025 NFL season in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's on September 5th. It's a worldwide audience on YouTube and YouTube TV. It marks the first exclusive NFL game to be streamed live and for free in its entirety on YouTube. Now, I get YouTube TV, but certainly one of my apps on my TV and everybody else's is YouTube. So that is where we are headed. And I would be wary of streaming there. I don't know. YouTube, not YouTube TV, but YouTube, when you have millions of people that are going to be logged onto that game, that could be really interesting. I know some people have had problems with Amazon, with Hulu. I haven't at all with streaming. Very rarely do I have a streaming issue with any of these apps outside of YouTube TV. I don't have, everything pretty much comes in for me crystal clear. But I would expect some issues on YouTube for streaming an NFL game that's never been done before. and it's probably going to be different than Amazon Prime and some of the other streaming services. But
let's not forget Netflix last year during Christmas. How a lot of people said it started out fine and then started lagging, and then there was the boxing event that they had. That
was awful. That was a disaster. I thought that was a disaster. But I thought they cleaned it up going into the NFL season for those 3 games anyway. But we'll see. But on YouTube, week 1 of 2025, the game in Brazil, that's September 5th. That's the day after your Eagles and Dallas go at it.
Yep.
So this is the only game that's going to be on. Everybody on the planet is going to be watching. It's a Friday night. Everybody's going to be watching that game.
Sure will. By the way, did you see the breaking news by the NFL that just leaked?
No. Do we have breaking news? Is this legit?
No, yeah.
Okay. Oops. Wrong way. All right, we have breaking news. Go ahead. I see it. Go ahead.
The NFL has revealed that the Chiefs and the Cowboys will meet on Thanksgiving Day for the first time in 30 years at 4:30 p.m. on CBS.
Wow. Good get there. And that's also the nighttime game, right? We said earlier was going to be, Minnesota at Green Bay, I think is going to be Thanksgiving night. Yep. Unbelievable, yes. So Kansas City and Dallas, first time in 30 years. How old was I? I was 28. Man, oh man. Also, another leak. Giants at the Cowboys, week 2. That's been leaked. That's breaking news also. Week 1, Giants at Washington. That's also a schedule leak there. We have Kansas City at Dallas. Minnesota at the Chargers. That is going to be week 8, Thursday. Week 8, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Week 8. We also have an hour ago Seattle at Arizona, which is going to be week 4. That's also Thursday Night Football. The Titans with Cam Ward at Denver. That is week 1. That's going to be Cam Ward's opening game. Going to go to whatever it's called, Mile High. Tennessee at Denver. That's week 1. So that's also Tampa Bay at the Rams. Tampa Bay at the Rams is going to be. Tampa Bay at the Rams is going to be Thanksgiving night. So after the Cowboys and Chiefs, and I'm not sure who's got the 1:00 game or the 12:30 game on Thanksgiving Day, but after the Cowboys and Chiefs will be Tampa Bay at the Rams on Thanksgiving night.
You also have Minnesota, I believe, too. They have 2 international games. I think 1 week they're in Dublin and then
the next week in London. Yes, absolutely. Now, my friends across the street, they go to like every Viking home game. It's unbelievable. They fly up there. That's the major. My friends Rob and Kim. They're incredibly loyal Minnesota Vikings sports fans. He's got a shrine in his house that it's all. I mean, you walk in and it feels like you're in a Prince motif. Like everything's purple, you know. But he's got amazing memorabilia in there. But I wonder if they're going, knowing them, they travel a lot. I'd say they go to Dublin, make a European vacation out of it, minus Chevy Chase. You know, go to Dublin and then stay up a few days. Just go across the pond and go to London. Why not?
Right, that's it. Well, it's funny how you talk about purple. So when years ago when I lived in Maryland as well, it was Ravens fans. Now, for those who don't know, here in Florida, a basement is basically the lower level below the foundation of your home. But it's the Ravens fans are when they set up their I don't know, caves, whatever hell you want to call it, the downstairs basement. It is absolutely insane how much they're into that team, and then they get the exact color right from the Ravens. But other than Eagles fans, like Ravens fans go all in. So it'd be cool to see your friends across the street there.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I bet you they go to at least one of them. That would not shock me in the least bit. All right, let's get a few more highlights in here before we. Last night there was one Stanley Cup playoff game, and man, all the Stars do is get hat tricks. I say all the Stars do get hat tricks.
Granlund across the line, a whiteout shot, he scores! Michael Granlund, power play goal, 1-0 Stars.
Yeah, watch how bad the audio is on ESPN. Remember we talked about this last week?
Yeah.
ESPN's hockey audio compared to the TSN in Canada. It is awful. It is absolutely awful. So Granlund scored there. It was 1-0. The Jets tied up at 1. But then guess who struck again?
Granlund lets it go. Niederreiter couldn't do anything with it. Here's Granlund, 2-on-1. Granlund shoots and scores!
Steve, I mean, I feel bad for Levy. It's horrible. Horrible audio. Horrible job by ESPN. Here's the hat trick. Can't even hear it. Couldn't even hear him. Couldn't even hear him. That's how bad it was last night. It's embarrassing. So Michael Granlund had his first career playoff hat trick. Jake Oettinger stopped 31 shots. Dallas beats Winnipeg 3-1 last night. They take a 3-1 lead there. Mikko Rantanen upped his NHL leading playoff total to 19 points, 9 goals with a primary assist on Granlund's second goal that broke the 1-1 tie with 2:08 left in the second period. But I can't believe how horrible that broadcast sounded last night. That is just embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. The Florida Panthers will take on the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight in Toronto. They've won 2 in a row over the fading Maple Leafs. We'll see if Toronto can rebound in Game 5. Anthony Stolarz, who's been out the last couple of games after he got elbowed in Game 1, he returned to Leafs practice yesterday, and the boys on TNT talked about it.
Addressing the Dmitry Kulikov elbow, there was some good news on the injury front for the Leafs today. We see Anthony Stolarz back on the ice. Chris, what are you hearing about his status?
Well, it's the first time we've seen him on the ice. Don't believe it's his first time actually skating, which, again, is even more good news. If he skated and has continued to skating, it would suggest that he's working his way through the progression that has to go through when you're returning from a head injury here. And so, the Leafs yet aren't saying when the best case scenario is on when we might see Stolarz, but, there's a pretty clear progression laid out for any player that's dealing with this kind of injury.
All right, so we'll see what happens there. And certainly the Panthers have all the momentum, and the Maple Leafs, it's just inevitable. It's only a matter of time before they choke and lose it or get outplayed, as Florida has outplayed them the last couple of games, the defending Stanley Cup champion. All right, let me see. We haven't talked about this yet, so I want to get into it now before the top of the hour. Major League Baseball lifts the Hall of Fame eligibility ban of Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Pete Rose has been reinstated by Commissioner Rob Manfred, and all of a sudden he's now eligible to be in the Hall of Fame for the first time since he was suspended by baseball permanently in 1989. Well, permanently has been scrubbed now because he died last year, and Commissioner Rob Manfred said everybody deceased who's been banned before is now reinstated by Major League Baseball. Yes, this means everybody, 17 people involved in the 1919 Black Sox scandal when players deliberately threw games. Yes, this means that Shoeless Joe Jackson can be in the Hall of Fame, Eddie Chilcott can be in the Hall of Fame. So Pete Rose will be on the Hall of Fame ballot, the Veterans Committee ballot, in 2027.
All right, there was Andrew, who was that? That was Bob Nightingale right there from USA Today. Now, Angel, if we could scroll down a few under awful announcing, just because Rod Manfred says it's so, remember, the writers have to put you in, so it's still going to be a difficult road. So look under awful announcing. Rod Manfred does not, this is Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon breaking it down yesterday.
Okay. Dokies. Oh, come on. Work with me.
Pete Rose and Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe Jackson, are now eligible for the Hall of Fame. But Rob Manfred does not put you in the Hall of Fame. The baseball writers who are members put you in the Hall of Fame. Those baseball writers, as we know well, are guardians of the game. They take violations very seriously. Joe Jackson fixed games. Okay, Pete Rose bet on games as a manager of one team. That doesn't go away. You know who else is eligible for the Hall of Fame right now? Barry Bonds is eligible. Mark McGwire is eligible. Sammy Sosa, they're eligible. Are they getting in anytime soon? Doesn't look that way from the voting. As you know, Mike, I would put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I would put his sins on the plaque and his accomplishments on the plaque. I agree that when your life is gone, it's okay to be eligible for something, but I do not see Pete Rose as a first ballot Hall of Fame. I just don't. I don't think it's going to happen because of the writers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree.
Yep.
It's going to be really, really interesting. The Guardians of the Gate, the Baseball Writers Association, many who I know and love and respect, and other ones are just old curmudgeons who are never going to let bygones be bygones. Personally, I would put Pete Rose in. I would put Roger Clemens in. I would put Barry Bonds in. Kurt Schilling should be in there too. There's a lot of people. Louis Tiant, without a doubt, should be in. El Tiante, the biggest screw job maybe in the history of any sports Hall of Fame. The fact that he is not in is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, all right, Angel, let's take a quick break. And then if we have to come back early, it's going to run out for a second. And then Patrick Kilroy is going to join us. We break down the Celtics and the next here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown dropped it. Picked off by Anunoby. He will go the distance. Two-hand slam, and Tatum is hurt. Tatum is hurt. Tatum is still down. He is screaming for a timeout. And in a New York minute, everything has changed. Jaylen Brown threw the ball away. Jason Tatum is down and hurt. Celtics training staff immediately racing onto the floor. Tatum with a towel over his head, lying on his back as the Celtics training staff trying to stabilize that right ankle. They lift Jason Tatum up. No weight whatsoever on the right ankle. Every Celtics title defense, it seems, comes with some calamitous injury that
Sean Grande, Cedric Maxwell will have the call. Actually, we're gonna finish the clip here with Sean Grande and Cedric Maxwell after the devastating injury to Jason Tatum on Monday night. And let's finish up the call here with Sean Grande and Cedric Maxwell from 98.5, the Sports Hub, the flagship of the Celtics.
changes the course of history. Is Jason Tatum going to bounce back from this, or is this the one we're talking about? Anunoby had the steal. Tatum tried to get in front of him.
They planted his foot, and it didn't even look like the ankle turns.
Bridges knocked it away from Jaylen Brown. And Tatum had to react quickly and suddenly and put his right foot out in front of him to try to get in front of Anunoby. And he just went crumpling to the ground.
Wow. What a shame.
You would say it just went from bad to worse for the Celtics, but worse does not encapsulate it.
Yeah, sure as hell doesn't. Grande and Max, thanks for the call on 98.5. The Sports Hub as we patiently await Patrick Gilroy to make his presence. So a big game tonight for the Celtics. Obviously, it is do or die for the Celtics, and I think the place is going to be rocking. Jason Tatum did undergo a successful surgery to repair a ruptured right Achilles tendon yesterday afternoon after suffering the injury late in the fourth quarter, as you've all seen by now against the Knicks. You really have to look for it. I mean, now you have other angles that focused on it. But when it happened, because it happened so quickly, the turnover, and then Anunoby, took it the length of the floor and slammed it, you didn't really see it till later on from like the reverse angle, because it just was one of those things, because it was a non-contact injury. And now the big question is, when will Jason Tatum be able to return, and at what capacity? My gut feeling tells me it won't be until next Christmas, and hopefully it will be pretty close to where he is now, but nobody can say for sure. KD recovered, seems pretty nicely from what happened. Same thing happened to him 6 years ago, but everybody's different. Jason's in his prime right now too. When KD happened, he was 30. Now JT is 27, so we shall see what happens here. All right, thanks for checking us out here across the Coastal Sports Network video platform. Checking me out at PShep326 on Twitter and X. On the Facebook pages, Coastal Sports Network, and my Facebook page. Also on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, CSN Florida, LinkedIn, and call or text the show 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650, and also download the great app that we have, the SR1029thegame.com app that we have as well. You want to definitely download the app. All right. Hopefully, when who should be here momentarily, let me do a quick MLB rundown before we get into the Celtics and the Knicks tonight, Game 5 at the Garden. Cubs and Miami went at it last night. Let's see. Anyway, Cubs won 5-4. White Sox in 10 innings over Cincinnati. How about that?
Drives in a run here as Vargas high in the air, deep to left field. Get out! Miguel Vargas with a 3-run shot here in the 10th. And the Sox explode for a 4 spot here in extra inning. For Vargas, his 3rd of the season. And he has been on an absolute tear since that swing change.
Remember Vargas from Seinfeld? That was the opposite coffee shop when Elaine started hanging out with the people that were like George and Jerry and Kramer, only they were much more contributing to society. And Vargas was their Newman. Vargas. Anyway, Detroit and the Red Sox went at it last night. The Red Sox in the top of the 11th inning, Christian Campbell.
What a chance to break out of it. First pitch swinging. Campbell in the air to right. McKinstry goes back at the wall. Gone! Campbell has done it in the 11th.
Yes, he did. He did do it in the 11th inning. Unfortunately, believe it or not, and, you know, it looked like the Red Sox were going to win this one. They really did until this happened. I say until this happened.
Earlier. First one. In the air. Deep left field. Again. Yes, Tigers win. Javi is unstoppable.
Javier Baez hit his second go-ahead 3-run homer in the 11th inning for his first multi-homer game in Detroit. Lift the Tigers to a 10-9 pathetic win over the Red Sox, who once again, the bullpen is Bayo couldn't get out of the 5th inning, get 4 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs. He pitched okay, walked 2, struck out 4. But Weissert in the end just gave it up, a big 3-run bomb, and walked a couple of guys. Just absolutely sucked. S-U-C-K, sucked last night. Red Sox bullpen. And there. Yankees lost again, too. We'll get to that in a second. I just want to text Patrick and make sure.
Sure.
Everything's okay. We have John Meade Perrell coming up around 8:45 this morning. Yeah, let's see, Patrick, you can link on. All right. Sorry about that. We continue. So Detroit beats the Red Sox 10-9. Cleveland and Milwaukee went at it as well.
Center field, dropping, and it gets by the center fielder, Chourio. Ramirez can run all night. Yelich backs it up. Posey all the way around to score. Into third is Kyle Manzardo with a triple. Chourio sold out, tried to make the game-saving catch. He didn't come up with it, couldn't knock it down, and the Guardians have extended their lead.
And that's the price you pay when you do something like this.
Yes, it is. That was a triple. Cleveland goes on to win 2-0 against Milwaukee. Meanwhile, the Mets continue to play good baseball, unfortunately.
Fly ball left field, well hit. Canario back near the wall, and it's out of here. Brett Beatty with a home run. They did not, they do call it a home run. Beatty stopped at second base. The third base umpire, Lance Barrett, finally signaled home run, and the Mets go back out in front. Beatty's 4th home run of this homestand, his 5th of the year, and it's 2-1 New York.
It is just so refreshing.
It sure is.
Okay, sorry about that. Patrick's not going to be able to join us. He's dealing with a personal situation with his family. So there's that. So that's good. Well, it's not good, but we send good thoughts and prayers to Patrick and his family. All right, continuing. So the Mets win 2-1. Atlanta beat Washington by a score of 5-2.
3-2. Baldwin deep to right. And that ball is gone. A two-run shot by the rookie Drake Baldwin to tie this game in the fourth.
You know, he saw that.
All right, Atlanta goes on to win. That was tied the game at the bottom of the fourth at 2, and Atlanta goes on to win this by a score of 5-2. What a shock. The Colorado Rockies lose again.
And those are stunning numbers. And now Young, a blast out to deep right center. It's gone! First pitch swinging, the Rangers on the attack tonight. And a quick 3-run first inning.
Thanks to the Rangers Sports Network there. But as the song goes, everybody Josh Young tonight, everybody Wang Chung tonight. He wasn't done.
Style right there. That's a beaut.
And he said, take that Rangers coaching staff.
Ooh, that ball's belted out to left field. That has a chance at the wall. It's gone! And Josh Young is homered again.
And make a joke.
Second of the night. And his third in as many days. 4-1 Rangers.
That would be the final. That would be the final. Kansas City and Houston in a nail-biter.
In the game, Walker faced him again last night as well. This ball hit well to left field. Ball game over. Isaac Paredes starts the party for the Astros.
Isaac Paredes walking him off with a blast into the Crawford boxes. We can see you.
Yainer Diaz had the last walk-off home run for the Astros last August. The last walk-off overall was Jose Altuve.
Yeah, credit to Space City Home Network for that call. Houston walks it off, a 2-1 win. San Diego and L.A. in a thriller as well.
And there's a line drive out to left. This one is deep. That ball is good. Matthew Lugo comes off the bench and delivers on 2 pitches. The Angels have taken the lead.
Who's his uncle?
I don't know.
Carlos Beltran. That ball was crushed. Wow. Oh, wow. Just like that. Second career home run. That ball was a laser out.
Thanks to FanDuel Sports Network there. That made it 4-2 L.A. in the top of the 7th inning. But of course, Angel, as I channel my inner ABBA, do you hear the sound, Fernando?
In the air to deep left center field. It's back. It is gone. Fernando walks it off. Deep into the San Diego night.
Don Orsillo.
Padres win it.
There was something in the air that night, Angel. The stars were bright. Fernando. Can I get more geeky? Don Orsillo, former Red Sox announcer on this, and great call there for Fox Sports West. That was fantastic. That was a great call. Let's hear that call again. Great job, Don.
Center field. It's back. It is gone. Fernando walks it off. Deep into the San Diego night.
Yeah, good job. No, still, though, the Padres are playing some good baseball, too. Yankees, you lose. The Yankees lose. I got to find the game winning. Oh, here it is, yes. Game was tied at 1, right? We headed to the bottom of the 11th inning.
Infield is in. Runners on the corners for J.P. Crawford. Left on left. Down the line. Is it fair? It's there! Laser guided by J.P. Crawford. And he wins it tonight against the Evil Empire in 11 innings.
Aaron, it is not how you start, but how you finish if you are J.P. Crawford all night long. He had 3 strikeouts, but this is what J.P. does so well.
Mariner Sports Network there, the Evil Empire. I'm tired of that, too. They call the Patriots the Evil. I need a team that wins a lot. The Dodgers will be the next Evil Empire, too. Yeah. The Chiefs are the Evil Empire. Everybody's an Evil Empire because there's only one Evil Empire. There's only been one, and there's only one, and that is Darth Vader leading the Evil Empire and the Imperial soldiers. That is the only Evil Empire, as far as I know. In my world, anyway. In my world. San Francisco beat Arizona pretty good, 10-6 last night. Tampa Bay and Toronto also in a nail biter. Here are a couple of highlights from that one.
And he hits it high in the air. Down the right field line. Gone! A pretty good matchup indeed.
Yes, it was. It was a pretty good matchup indeed, thanks to the Sportsnet for that one. At that time, it was 7-6 Toronto. We move on into extra innings, baby.
On 2-2. Launched to left field. It's a grand slam. Junior Caminero has driven them all home, and the Rays with a 5-run ninth take an 11-7 lead. They did not go slider away.
Well, I want to see what that. Well, no, whatever that was supposed to be away, and boy, was that pitch hung. Junior Caminero did what.
Rays had a lead in that game, like 6-3. They blew it and then came back. Obviously, there was like no fans for Tampa Bay and Toronto. They win. They beat Toronto by a score of 11-9. The Dodgers came up just a bit short last night, just a bit short.
Hey, JJ says, I got this too. JJ Bleday had a homer, number 6 for him.
How do I do this to myself?
It is now 11-1.
We going back to back.
Where's my toothpicks and sriracha? Can drill it into my head. Athletics win 11-1. Minnesota, Baltimore postponed, as was St. Louis and Philadelphia. Postponed yesterday as well. All right. Back here. So there's your MLB rundown. Congratulations to my buddy Bill Burt and his 31-year anniversary today with his beautiful wife, Mary. So congratulations to them for that. Let me see. We have seen another schedule leak. Eagles at the Giants. Here you go. Week 6, Thursday night football. Eagles at the Giants, Angel.
Boy.
Week 6, another schedule leak a few minutes ago.
Eagles are going to have short rest in between a lot of games this season, so they better get used to it.
Also, 9 minutes to go. Week 1 at 4:25 p.m. The Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. So that's 4:25 is one of the featured games of the week on Fox. Yeah. So that'll be that. Let me see what else. As we said, Philadelphia at the Giants. What else we got leaking earlier? Kansas City at the Giants. That will be week 3 on Monday Night Football. That was 21 minutes ago. So there's another one that we haven't heard from. Week 2, the Giants will be at the Dallas Cowboys. That is going to be week 2.
Who has more pressure going back to the NFC Championship game, or at least try to? The Detroit Lions or the Commanders?
Oh, I think probably the Lions. Although, I mean, and your Philadelphia Eagles. It's always hard to repeat. It's always hard. Some teams don't make it back to the playoffs. That's not going to be the case in Philadelphia, barring any major injuries. I always have to put that preamble out there. But, yeah, no, I think Detroit is under going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on them to try to get back there. And, Washington is still that team that's up and coming. If Washington was back in the NFC Championship, that was not going to surprise me. It's certainly not going to surprise me if it's the Eagles. It's not going to surprise me if it's Detroit. They're excellent football teams. I'm still trying to figure out what San Francisco is going to be if they can get back in the saddle with Brock Purdy and company. Now they sign, Kittle's back there. So we'll see. We'll see how McCaffrey, if he's healthy, they may have a shot too. But it's very, very early.
So if Jared Goff doesn't perform this year, does Detroit then start looking at next year's draft for a newbie?
I think there's a good chance of that. A very good point. I think there's a good chance of that. So week 1, the Giants will be at Washington. There's another schedule leak. As we said, Kansas City at Dallas. That is going to be on Thanksgiving Day. That's the 4 o'clock or the 4:30 game on Thanksgiving Day. And then at night is going to be Tampa Bay at the Chargers. I forget who's playing the 1 o'clock game. The Minnesota Vikings will be at the Chargers on Thursday Night Football in Week 8. Seattle at Arizona, Week 4, Thursday Night Football. Tennessee at Denver, that is also a 4:05 start. That's Week 1 on Fox, and I'll be interested to see that one a little bit, watching Cam Ward. I have yet to see any of my Patriots. they don't. I don't know why. I mean, I know they're gonna have at least one, but I mean, they're going to be an exciting team. I'm telling you. Let me see if there's anything on their webpage of leaks so far. I've seen no schedule leaks at all that involve the Patriots. Zero. Tells me they're not going to be a lot. I know they're probably going to have a Monday night game and a Thursday night game, but I have yet to see any leaks. Let me see if Mr. Reese has anything on this particular subject. Nope. No. There have been no leaks at all. There's a leak in the boat. No leaks at all regarding the Patriots. Check Adam Schefter's webpage real quick. No. Except the only other news we know is YouTube will exclusively stream the Friday night Week 1 game of the 2025 NFL season in Brazil on September 5th. And that's going to be the Chiefs and Chargers, remember. That'll be streamed to a worldwide audience on YouTube and YouTube TV. It marks the first exclusive NFL game to be streamed live and for free in its entirety on YouTube. By the way, speaking of things that are not free, and Rich Eisen's coming back to ESPN to do a noon to 3 show.
What?
By the way, yes. He's coming back, and he's on a different grid than what McAfee is, so it's going to be interesting. But did you see the release yesterday from ESPN PR? This is unbelievable. No one's going to pay this fucking money.
Oh, yeah. No.
This is ridiculous.
Yep.
The new direct-to-consumer offering to the singularly branded ESPN, the unfiltered plan priced at $29.99 a month. Now, that's not part of your cable bill. That's already linked in. $29.99 per month, and the select plan, which just includes ESPN Plus, is at $11.99. The enhanced app offers new features, personalized fan experience. You got to be kidding me. $29.99 a month. No one does. I saw the polls afterwards. It's like 95% against it. Who was going to pay that? Who's going to pay that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because then you start adding all your streaming packages together, you're going to start getting a higher cable bill than what your cable bill is.
It's ridiculous. No one's going to pay that. Nobody. I'm just wondering if it's going to affect my YouTube TV. Is they going to charge more? Just for ESPN. Because I get the whole ESPN stuff on YouTube TV, and most people have, get all the ESPN packages on their cable system. This is strictly, I guess, streaming. But you'd have to pay. So say you don't have cable, you just want ESPN. You're going to pay, if you want to have everything, you pay $29.99 a month. That is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, let me see here.
You got to get a part-time job just to pay for all the streaming services.
Yeah, no question. Okay, Angela, if we could scroll down just a little bit. Speaking of NFL news, and this Trey Hendrickson stuff is becoming really interesting with the Cincinnati Bengals. So NFL on ESPN, Angela, if you scroll down, Adam Schefter giving the latest update on the situation with him and his contract talks.
Great.
What I can say is I'm very disappointed with the communication that's been had, and when there's a lack of communication in any relationship, if it's business or a personal relationship, lack of communication leads to animosity, and that leaves my narrative only to me with no clear direction.
It's gotten personal now, Dan, between the Cincinnati Bengals and Trey Hendrickson. And for Trey Hendrickson to come out and say what he has said the last 2 days over the phone with me yesterday, in press conference settings today, that tells you how upset, bothered, and frustrated he is at the pace of these negotiations. If we go back to last year, he felt like he was told that all he had to do was come in, be a good soldier, produce on the field, and he would be rewarded. Well, he came in, he led the NFL in sacks, he didn't say anything, he went through the season and played as well as anybody in all of football, and now this offseason, at a time where he was going into an offseason when he was going into the last year of his contract, and he's scheduled to make $15.8 million this year, he's watched Max Crosby get north of $35 million a year. He's watched Myles Garrett get north of $40 million a year. And here Trey Hendrickson is scheduled to make $15.8 million with less time on his deal, closer to free agency, with a team that told him if he just did what he was supposed to last year, that he would be taken care of this year. And he's frustrated because the team has not only not returned his phone calls since the draft, or at least not communicated with him, but they obviously had comments to make at the owners' meetings about how he should be happy to play for what he's playing for. And then, of course, you have a situation where all these other players are being paid right now. And I just think he feels like it's time to speak up. He's been silent too long. He's let the team dictate how he was going to behave. He's not going to do it anymore. Now he says he's not going to play this season under this contract. Let's just spin it forward a little bit. Sure. Let's say we get into the summer of training camp. You can imagine he'll be holding himself out of practice or saying his back's bothering him and what it would be like going into the opening week of the season. This is a team that has started very slow in recent years. It's trying to reverse all that. They've signed their wide receivers. They haven't signed their defensive end. They need this not to be a distraction going into the season, both sides.
Yeah, that's the latest. And again, we talked about this yesterday with Jay Flannelly. That's it's called Cincinnati Bengal football. I mean, just crazy. Lack of communication. All right, here's the Pete Sheppard Show. We're going to take a quick break. But also tomorrow, and it's our last show of the week tomorrow, no show on Friday due to extenuating circumstances. Basically, the office is being converted into another bedroom. Because I have family on my wife's side coming in. The girls are coming in as they do for their yearly visit. And so that's it. They win. So no show on Friday. And no show the following Friday either, because it's going to be a long Memorial Day weekend for all of us. But we will have a full show tomorrow. I can promise you that. I think Rick Horrow's going to join us. Gus Alonso with a Preakness preview is definitely going to join us. Trevor Story before that, maybe Michelangelo. So it's probably going to be absolute jam-packed show tomorrow from 7 to 10. I probably will be going to 10. Meter's going to join me in just a few minutes here. Also, the PGA Championship is tomorrow, Angel. It's your favorite place, the Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. Lovey, you know.
I go every year. Never miss it. By the way, it's Trevor Harris. Unless you're looking for the major league.
What did I say?
Trevor Story.
Oh, jeez, I do that all the time.
Yep, even when you're post.
I do. Idiot. It's playing for the Red Sox. And anyway, all right, Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. So head on down there to Phil Castanetti, Sports World, 184 Broadway in Saugus. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there. Quick break. Then John Meter-Perrell, Boston College and ACC Network play-by-play voice will join me next here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
You don't have to foul here, but you have got to come up with a stop.
Find a shoot. Turner. He puts it down. Miles Turner with the biggest shot of his season. And Indiana is up 9.
Conference finals are here for the taking.
It sure was. The Cleveland Cavaliers blew a 19-point second quarter lead last night and then fell to the surging Indiana Pacers 114-105. And the Pacers go on to win that series 4-1 while winning 3 in Cleveland. Rick Carlisle, great coach, doing an amazing job. Tyrese Halliburton had 31. Pascal Siakam added 21. And the Pacers reached the conference finals in consecutive years for the first time since 2013, 2014. And welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. Glad to have you here as we anxiously await John Mita-Perrell. Also, last night, Oklahoma City beat Denver 112-105 in that one. I'll try to see if we can play some video for you here. Actually, Angel, we could scroll down. It's just a couple underneath. Iron Eagle, good job last night. Nuggets Thunder sequence down the stretch of Game 5. In case you mean, it's 2 under this show. Under awful announcing, Iron Eagle.
Murray, kick it out, Jokic. 7 to shoot. His team is down by 3. Pirouettes, tosses it up. Oh! Joker's wild! We are tied at 103.
Game show back in the day. Joker, and the triple.
Insane!
Wow. The defense right in his grill. Jokic unfazed. The crowd is in disbelief here. What a shot, what a performance from the Joker.
44 points for Nikola Jokic. 1:34 to go. Gilgeous-Alexander gives it up for Dort. Brown there defensively. SGA with 8 to shoot. Some help from Murray. Kick, Dort, extra. Williams on the way. Connects. Thunder lead by 3.
All right, and then right on cue. Here he comes. The voice of Boston College football and the ACC network, John Mita-Perrell. I could see there'd be some walk-up music for you playing pickleball. You know, could be good stuff.
Playing pickleball,
or heading to the plate for batting practice at Fenway. Yes.
or playing pickleball, or playing mahjong.
I played that online before.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. You played everything online.
It did. I used to have Hoyle card games right back in the day. I learned how to play everything from canasta. I mean it's the stuff a lot of games I knew how to play, but I think bridge sucks. I think it's so boring. I think canasta is ridiculous with the stupid jokers. I don't like it. Give me my pitch / high-low jack and rummy 500 like that. Cribbage I like.
Not a big card guy, I got to tell you.
Poker, obviously.
Yeah, no, poker, I hardly knew her.
Jeez.
That was one of our favorites back in the day, Pete.
I'm a gentleman. I don't talk like that.
Oh, no, of course, you don't. Only in quiet moments. But, yeah, that shot by Jokic was just ridiculous. That was just insane. That's one of the best shots I've seen, I think, in the playoffs.
Been amazing. We'll get to the Celtics in a second, but also, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I thought they'd win in 7. I knew it would be a hard series. You and I watched the NBA. These other idiots on some of these other networks, all they want to do is, they talk about the Lakers all year long instead of talking about teams like Indiana. And that's a really good basketball team. And I don't know why anybody is really all that surprised after what they did last year getting into the conference finals. They're better this year. They're healthier this year. But the fact that they won 3 out of the 4 games in Cleveland, wow, that says something.
Yeah, and it also says something about the Cavaliers that we all bought. At least I bought into them. And yeah, I know Mitchell was hurt, played last night, missed those three. I can't believe he missed those 3 foul shots. That was playoff pressure at its finest, and the fact that he missed all 3 was his Mitchell Robinson moment. But they have 3 point guards in Indiana that could start for any team: Halliburton, Nebhard, and McConnell.
Yep.
That's how deep they are. They're the best team in the NBA the second half of the season. Rick Carlisle is a terrific coach.
Yeah.
So, the reason why people don't pay attention is because it's Indiana and they're not sexy. And
why do national, not saying you, why do national announcers, what do you mean they're not? So if these same people were playing for the Lakers, it'd be even doubly worse. We'd rather talk about the Lakers, who suck and bounced in the first round, as I thought they would, by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Why does it matter what city you're in? I think it's just laziness by people on major national networks. I think it's pure, authentic laziness. They think the Lakers move the needle by saying Lakers. It doesn't anymore. I'm sorry. I don't buy into that crap anymore.
Yeah, but there's 20 million people in LA and there's 2 million people in Indianapolis.
There's 20 million frauds in LA who show up only when the Lakers are doing okay and they leave. I mean, I don't hear a lot of these LA talk shows, people calling up talking Laker basketball. No, obviously, down here, I have to listen to Clinton Yates, whatever it is. All he did for 2 months was talk about Laker basketball. It was embarrassing. And
the Lakers dominate that market, though, Pete. Trust me on that one. It's a Laker town, and then the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And I think the Rams are, the Rams have done a nice job trying to move into that. But the Chargers.
No, what I'm saying is they need to wake up and talk more about teams like Indiana. Just because they're in Indiana or Milwaukee or whatever doesn't mean they're insignificant compared to the stupid Lakers. It's ridiculous. Laziness. It's laziness.
But here's the math, though. The math is, and this is the executive math, is that they look at LA, and that's the number 1 market in the country, and they look at Indianapolis, and it's an afterthought market. So I'm not justifying. I'm just telling you that's how they justify it.
Yeah, but I think you want to talk about the Lakers, fine. But you gotta fit in. You act like they don't exist until then. You have the nerve to act surprised, and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon. It's crazy. It's what they did nationally with the Celtics in Miami. Not this year, but previous years. They'd sit there talk about the fucking Brooklyn Nets all day long on national radio, who did nothing except get bounced out of the playoffs by the Celtics and fight amongst themselves with Harden and Durant and Kyrie and all of that nonsense. And they think talking about them all it does is, I think, when you start talking about the Brooklyn Nets, the LA Lakers, if you're doing a national show and you're in Widget, Idaho, I think you alienate a big chunk of your audience on a national scale. And most people don't understand either. These ESPN branded stations, they're all dinky little stations on the whole. There's some ones that are pretty big. The one down here is one of the bigger ones. But on the whole, you're down the dial, 15, 60, go fuck yourself in Idaho. Those how many calls are you, Joe in South Dakota? He's listening. It's like, get one signal. Anyway, we digress. How about ESPN charging $29.99?
Yeah, that's DTC. We've been talking about that a lot with Andrew Marchand on my sports media pod. He's been way ahead of the curve. He had that 5 years ago.
So
he didn't know it was going to be $29.99.
You work for ESPN, sort of, with the ACC network and all that stuff. So $29.99 a month. That's not going to affect my cable, right? That's going to just if somebody just had no cable, just wanted to stream all of ESPN platform, $29.99 a month, $11.99, I believe, for just ESPN Plus, which for me is all I care about because I have all the other stuff.
It's an additive, and I think they see a lot of cord cutters. They're out there, especially in that 25 plus crowd. So that's what they want to attack. They feel like there's a huge audience there. And if they get a couple million, it's worth it. So that's, Fox is trying to do it too. Fox has been quieter with it, with Fox One just announced.
Yeah.
That was to their shareholders the other day. So ESPN, is trying to jump everybody, and they clearly, whether you like, and I know you bang on them, and I get it from an NBA perspective, but they're still the number one destination. They still have every sport known to man. You want a sport, they have it. Obviously, college football, baseball. Baseball will be a loss, but baseball is, God knows where they'll go next. Then we could talk about that for hours. But
yeah,
baseball. You got your most popular sports under one umbrella. So if you don't have cable, why wouldn't you get it if you can afford it?
Well, I get it, but then you got to get but if you're talking about, and by the way, I felt bad. It was Levy doing the game last night, the Dallas game. You couldn't hear him. They had, and this is the problem that was brought up. The TSN audio is, I don't know what they're doing at ESPN and some of these hockey broadcasts, but I felt bad for Levy last night. You could not hear him.
It's a problem at a lot of games now where the crowd mics are way too high. We deal with it in college football, and it's also the acoustics at a stadium. Now everything's cranked up to a high level because they're trying to generate crowd noise, because a lot of times the crowd isn't there. See the Miami Hurricanes, so they're trying to generate more of a crowd noise aspect than it impedes on a broadcast.
Well, the crowds are there against Florida State, Notre Dame, and everything else, and hopefully they'll be back bigger and better. By the way, have you seen the Canes baseball team lately? They are unstoppable right now.
They're very good. So is Northeastern. Do you know Northeastern's in the top 25?
I did not know that. I usually check that too every week, but
the Northeastern Huskies, who no one would even think of, even as a baseball team, they're coached by Mike Glavine, and Tom's brother, and it's amazing what they've done. I think they're still
Rick's own Tom Glavine.
As we used to say, yes, Bedford's own Tom Glavine, and all the phones would light up because we would mess with that. But Miami's great. ACC's had a nice run here in baseball.
Yeah, I can't wait for the postseason, because Miami started off sort of slow, and then they got their mojo going. They had a good sweep against BC up your way, that last game at Fenway, which they won a nail biter 3-2, and they beat FIU the other day. They're playing really good. They've won series against Georgia Tech, I think Virginia, some good baseball teams. So yeah, college baseball is fantastic. It really is. Are you going to call on any games anytime soon?
Doesn't look that way, Pete. You got to get on the horn with my agent. But
what is wrong with these people?
I ask myself that all the time. But you know what? We got some things in the burner. I can't talk about right now. But
don't they know I know who you are? Don't they know that?
The old Sean McDonough line. Don't you know who I think I am?
All right. Before we get more of the Celtics and the Knicks, and I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. I fully expect. Look, the Celtics, I'm still not counting them out in the series. I'm not. I've seen plenty of times. I know things are different, but at least for tonight, I think they win, and I think they cover the 4.5. That place is going to be electric. A lot of emotion, and win one for Jason. All of that stuff. I think it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere, at least for tonight. Heading into that game, how do you feel about it?
I don't know, Pete. I've not felt good about this series ever since that Game 1 loss.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're done. Whether it's tonight, clearly they're done in Game 6. And I hope you're right. I hope they can do that. And I love. I'm not a big. The Celtics are 9-2 without Jason Tatum. This is different. It's the playoffs, and you're facing a team that clearly is determined and relentless at this point. They're not very talented, and that's the narrative up here. Oh, the Knicks stink. Well, you know what? They're beating you 3-1. Yeah. So they're doing something right.
Well, but they finally got a lead. I mean, they're going into the other night's game. They only had a lead for 12 minutes, and that's the thing. That's what's so frustrating. But they got up 14 again. Celtics get up 14 again, and even when they were down by 7, right before Jason got here, I still thought they were going to win, because I thought he was going to put up 50. And what was crazy about, obviously, a non-contact injury, horrible, ruptured Achilles. But nobody saw it until because it happened, non-contact injury. You see Jalen turn the ball over. Abanabi goes and dunks it. And he didn't really see it till the whole play until, a minute or two later when they had the reverse angle for it, because that's how crazy that was. But, oh, God.
It's also Jalen Brown. Start holding on to the ball. Like, this has been a problem for him for the last 5 years. He's sloppy. He loses his focus. He can't dribble with his left hand. Tim Welsh has been all over this with us on Sunday mornings, and he's right. He's never developed the left hand, which is incredible in the NBA. You got to have both hands, and he's not strong on the ball. So that led, obviously it was a freak injury. It's going to happen to most NBA players. They're going to tear an Achilles. We had a guy in EI years ago a doctor that told us that, and he was right. The numbers are out there. The studies are out there. Whether Tatum comes back for this at 100%, the numbers aren't good on that regard.
Yeah, I saw a study that said to come back in full capacity is about 27%. At full capacity. Now, Kevin Durant looks pretty good. It happened to him 6 years ago when he was 30. Took him 2 years to get back. My gut feeling is Meter, I'm hoping that we'll see Jason around Christmas, very much like the Porzingis thing this year. And that happened earlier than Christmas.
Again, I love your optimism, but I don't know, Pete.
That's what I said. Best case scenario. Best case scenario.
I don't know. I think it might be
over
March
a year.
if you're lucky.
Maybe. I'm saying for me, best case scenario. I'm hoping, hence the word hoping, that he is back by Christmas. But
it's amazing how things turn on a dime. And Bill Spiros, your good friend, wrote a good column today in the Herald about it. I just read about it in his inimitable style. And he made some good points. They're going to be a totally new team. They're not going to have that starting five ever again that you saw.
No, you can't. The starting five is $200 million. So we know the changes are coming. My guess it's going to be, KP is definitely going to be one, and Drew Holiday.
He's
Those
gone.
are the two.
Those two are gone. Horford's probably either gone or he'll retire. So
he said he was coming back in a couple months ago. Remember,
he did.
Whether he meant it or not, but he did say he was going to come back.
It's a shame because he's always, he's one of those guys that you rely on quietly if he doesn't play well, and he's been a zero this series.
Yeah.
So, it's okay. Can Pritchard do it consistently? I think he can. He's done it all year, but it's a little different role for him now. So, overall, it's just this pale of how it is up here. It's just and of course
throwing the Red Sox last night.
That's what I was just going to say. Then you have the magnifying glass with that awful bullpen.
Yes,
and you got Greg Weissert throwing these absolute meatballs over the middle, right?
And then Whitlock, I have no confidence in Whitlock at all. And Tanner Houck, is he in Worcester yet? Why isn't he? If he isn't, why isn't he? He needs to go to the minors and
should be in Portland. He's had two of the worst starts ever.
Yep.
In Major League history.
How do you give up 11 runs and what is it, 2 1/3?
2 1/3. He's the only guy in Major League history to do that in one season.
How does that happen?
It's I do not know, but they're the forever 500 Red Sox. So, there's not much positives until I guess the Patriots report to camp.
But the only thing that's positive is we've been talking about the last several weeks. Everybody else in the American League East, no one's really running away with it. Yankees lost last night, 2-1 in Seattle. Tampa Bay beat Toronto, but everybody's sort of hanging around. Baltimore's they're terrible on the whole. So it's they're hanging around. Nobody wants to take this thing right now.
No, I think the Yankees will win it. The Yankees will win the division. It's just a matter of the Red Sox figuring out a way to get a wild card. Who knows? But I'm excited for college football. We got the.
I am too. I saw the schedule. I was talking about some of the games coming up, but go ahead. Yeah, I am really excited about college football.
No, I was just with the coaches conference at Amelia Island. I know you've been talking about that with our good friend Bill Belichick. That is, but and by the way, we're going to be at our podcast next week. We're going to be at BC's having an alumni golf tournament on Monday in Newton at Brayburn Golf Club, and Matt Ryan will be one of our featured guests.
Oh my! Are you playing with this foursome?
I am not.
Does he know that you made him the person that he is? As far as that,
we've talked about it many times.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if he's admitted that for the record, Pete. But
he's got a full size John Meter Perel photo above his bed. It's unbelievable. Frame.
It's like you with Brady.
It says Matty Ice, take a bow by you.
It's you with Brady, man. You were on the Brady bandwagon.
By the way, I never
2002.
got my statue back. That huge thing that was given to me by somebody. I can't remember a memorabilia guy, not my man Phil Castanetti. Somebody else back in the day gave me that Brady thing, and when I got fired in 2010. I forgot to take it, and I never went back and got it. And then you guys totally abused it. You abused it completely.
What do you mean by that?
On his head, you had all sorts of, it was offensive.
It was. Oh man, I had nothing to do with that. Zero. You know, Pete, it's just your loss, I guess.
All right, let me ask you something. I'm looking at just week 1 NFL schedule here. Cowboys and Eagles, we know kickoff Thursday. Chiefs and Chargers on YouTube exclusively, even though it's free. That's going to be interesting. I want to get your thoughts on that and how many times we're going to have to buffer. If you got that's the only game in town, and if that's the only one, the only way to get it. Wow. So Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil on Friday, then Giants at Commanders, Bucks at Falcons, Titans at Broncos, 49ers at Seahawks, Lions at Packers. I have yet to see any Patriot leaks at all. Nothing. And I'm not expecting them to get a lot of national TV games, but I have not seen one Patriot schedule leak yet. Have you?
No, although Zolak hinted that they are going to get a few national games this year, primetime games.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get a Monday and a Thursday, and whether they get a Sunday or not, if they do, I hope it's later on in the season.
Yeah, I think they're waiting to see who they are. They don't want a 4-win team on national TV all the time, or on primetime all the time. So they're obviously on national TV. But yeah, I think it's kind of a wait and see thing. I think next year you'll see more of that if they have the year that the improvement year that people think they're going to have. But yeah, that is weird. I don't understand that. The YouTube thing, I think NBC's going to produce that, so I think they'll have that buttoned up. They better. Because if there is a buffering issue, people like you are going to be irate.
Well, that usually doesn't bother me down here. For me, that doesn't bother. Actually, I'm looking at a leaked. It looks like the Falcons at the Patriots, 1:00 on Fox. That's their opening game. Falcons at the Patriots.
It's a good opener.
Yeah,
Falcons going to be improved as well. So 2 improved teams.
I like their quarterback. I thought might up being the best one of that draft class.
Yeah, I think I might have to be at that game wearing my Chris Lindstrom jersey, the best guard in the NFL. Proud of Boston College.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Cleveland at the Jets, New Orleans at Tennessee, Denver at Houston. Although I saw Tennessee, I don't know. I thought I saw Tennessee at. I thought I saw Tennessee at Denver. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It may be right, it may not be right, but now somebody has leaked the schedule. Who is this person? The Patriots schedule, Babsy.
You know Babsy.
I do. Oh,
we knew Babsy.
I do.
We knew a Babs. I can tell you, I knew a Babs. I can't get into that
I
now.
knew a couple of Babs.
Yeah,
so anyway, he's got the Falcons in Carolina, the first 2 home games for the Patriots. Then they go to the Jets, home against Cleveland, home against Miami, at Tennessee, and the bye week 7.
Well, that's an easy schedule.
Home against Pittsburgh after the bye week. At New Orleans.
Oof. You got some wins there.
At New Orleans.
You should.
Then at Tampa Bay. Home against Vegas. Home against Buffalo. That's in week 12 on November 23rd. At Cincinnati. Home against the Giants. At Baltimore. At Miami. And then they close out the last 2. Home against the Jets. And they close out at Buffalo.
Oh.
Which I suspect that one could be. Hopefully that will be a meaningful game that will be flexed.
Yes, hopefully. But that's also going to be a 12-degree game. So
that's all right.
Just what you just said, based on some of those games I just heard, there's got to be there's more than 4 wins on that schedule. If again, I don't want to overrate this team because who knows, but you got to win 6 or 7 games this year.
I think they're going to win 9. Zolak thinks they're going 12-5.
Well, of course he does.
Well, but I think they're going to be look, Vrabel, I think, has got complete command of this thing. I think they're going to be much improved, night and day on the offensive line. I really believe that. But as long as everybody stays reasonably healthy, the yeah. Now this one has opening game Tampa Bay at Atlanta. So how can the Falcons be opening day at the Patriots if this says Tampa Bay at Atlanta? I trust this Tampa Bay at Atlanta more. So as far as the Patriots go, forget everything I just said about it. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, our boy Chach just texted me and said Sheppard's wrong about the Falcons Pats.
No, I know because I'd already said it was going to be Tampa Bay Atlanta. I'd already said that early on in the show. So I'm just reading what this guy had out there. He had
you can't trust X, Pete.
No.
You can't trust it.
Blue check mark. Blue check mark. No.
Nope. Don't trust Babs.
Nope.
We know Babs. Don't trust her.
Nope. Not at all. And here's another one. Sportskeeda Pro Football, 57,800 followers. They also have the Falcons. No, that's wrong. It's wrong. That's not right. It's wrong. Tampa Bay, the one I have seen, Tampa Bay opens up in Atlanta. That is week 1. That's what we know.
And we do know the Patriots are playing the NFC South, so they'll play Atlanta, but not week 1.
No, not at all. What else? So we discussed. So the college football schedule. Some of the early releases. Some really good games. August 30th, the SEC ACC opening weekend. Syracuse, Tennessee, and Atlanta. Noon on ABC. Alabama at Florida State at 3:30 on ABC, and then LSU at Clemson at 7:30 on ABC, and then the next day, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Miami is in there as well against Notre Dame that weekend, and then North Carolina and TCU. Florida State. Any initial gut feeling of how you think they're going to rebound this year?
Yeah, I think they'll rebound. They're not going to win 2 games. They'll be better than that. As far as how much they'll rebound, I wouldn't expect an exponential jump. It's one of those I have to see it to believe it things. That's a real tough opener. And it's all about the quarterback play. So, Norvell's coaching for his job, even though he has a ton of money left on his deal. I still think he's on the hot seat.
What else is North Florida State? That's all they do is pay ex-coaches millions of dollars.
Right. So, they'll be better. Clemson's going to be really good. I've already seen them as a preseason number 1. So that's a team clearly it's going to be at the top of the heap preseason-wise in the ACC. But, that's a great start to your season. Don't forget about BC Fordham, the mighty Fordham Rams, the alma mater of Kirk Minahan. They come to Chestnut Hill.
Yep, and my Miami Hurricanes, after they beat up on Notre Dame opening night, which I cannot wait for. Going to be fantastic. Carson Beck or no Carson Beck, we're not losing that game. I'm telling you right now. And they should be much.
He got his car back, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. Yellow Lamborghini. Yep.
They found it.
That's what I'm told. They found it. They also found Hannah's Range Rover, whatever she drives. She gets,
Well, Hannah could drive whatever she wants, Pete.
Drive you crazy. Well, I can't wait. It seems
the Cavender twins. You love the Cavender twins. They're not in the SI swimsuit issue, though.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Livy Dunn is. I mean, has anything ever? Remember back in the day at EEI, we would bring in. It would be the SI swimsuit release day.
Yep.
And we'd all go nuts about it, and we'd bring it in the next day, and of course we'd spend not a long time, but we'd talk about it, and now it's just like such an afterthought.
Well, because it's all available 24/7. I mean, you can look up all these pictures and people, whatever you want, 24/7. Back in the day, you couldn't. You didn't really do that.
No, it's true. You can get it that's very, extremely valid. But I remember back. You remember this when you were
it was huge.
In high school. I'd run to the mailbox. Every Thursday, I'd run to the mailbox to get SI.
My mom used to hide it sometimes. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, there's a half-naked woman on the TV. I was like, give me my fucking magazine. To say fuck. She would have punched me.
The Elle Macpherson cover. I still see it.
Paula
Polina Porzakova.
Yeah. Yep. Cheryl
Kathy Ireland.
Kathy Ireland. Yep. Great
my
Family Guy
goodness.
episode when Peter steals the full-size, life-size Kathy Ireland thing and takes it home. Takes her out to dinner, then sleeps with her.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
hysterical.
It's but now I guess you turn your lonely eyes to Livy Dunn, Pete.
Yep. Yeah, I saw you on TV last week at the game.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
told me. You said you headed up there.
Yeah, I was sitting. We had a nice seat between you. If you were there, you could have sat right between us.
Great. Why? Somebody didn't show up?
We had sometimes we have my boy Rob he has 3, but sometimes he just brings 2. It's like drink water. Sometimes he only brings 1. He's got
Depends how
4, but he only brings 1. You know, he wants to
Yep.
keep a low profile.
Any more schedule leaks? Okay. Okay. Here are some college football news. We'll just end on this. So Saturday, August 23rd is number 14 Iowa State versus number 18 Kansas State in Dublin. Now you broadcast there before, right?
I did. Yep.
That's
10 years
cool.
ago. Thought we might be going back this year, but North Carolina jumped us.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Thursday,
playing.
August 28th at 5:30, Boise State at USF on ESPN. All these games are on ESPN or ABC. 9 o'clock, Nebraska at Cincinnati, which is going to be in Kansas City. That should be, it's going to be at Arrowhead. Yep. Friday the 29th, Georgia Tech at Colorado on ESPN at 8 o'clock. Saturday, August 30th, the Aflac kickoff game, Syracuse versus Tennessee in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz and ABC. As we said, 3:30, number 9, Alabama at Florida State at ABC, and 7:30, number 6, LSU at number 2, Clemson right now on ABC. Then on the 31st, another Aflac kickoff game, Virginia Tech versus number 13, South Carolina. That game also in Atlanta. And then the game everybody's talking about, obviously, 7th-ranked Notre Dame preseason against number 21 preseason, Miami. That'll be at 7:30 on ABC. The whole world will be watching. The following, and then Monday, September 1st, 8 o'clock, TCU at North Carolina.
Yeah, fascinating on many levels. Just remember, it's only about football for Bill. It's not about Jordan. It's only about football. That's just a personal relationship on the side. Okay, Bill.
Well, what do you think about Bubba Cunningham's, the AD's comments about it? And Pablo Torre, he's really put himself out there, Angel. I mean, you're in the business, obviously. He, now with the Athletic, was pretty adamant.
Well, he's angry now.
He wouldn't make it till week 1. Now he's angry because his story has been refuted.
Yeah, who knows? He said, she said, but Pablo's a good reporter.
I know he is. Yeah.
And he's got a lot of contacts and a lot of history in the business. So I'm sure there's both sides probably have an argument, but I think Pablo's going to the mat here, which tells me that he's definitely very secure. I think he'll make it to week 1. I don't think they're going to let him go just because it would be a catastrophic PR situation. Not it already is, but it's going to be worse if that happens. The team would be totally derailed. They're derailed now, but they're going to be derailed worse if that happens. Yeah. I think he's going to make it to week 1. He'll coach this year, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe just one and done. But it's just disgusting to see how this is deteriorated. I mean, and it didn't have to be this way. It's all on her and it's all on Belichick. Bubba Cunningham look, his hands are tied. I don't get that either. I get it. There's someone in that. I get it. There's someone in that realm of North Carolina donors that is just infatuated with Belichick. So
but also, don't you agree, though? Something was said. Maybe banned is the wrong word, but she is being a little bit restricted, I think. Maybe just not being on the football field. I'm not saying that, could put up an electric fence if she drives in, then that's going to happen. Maybe she's allowed on into the facility. But as far as on the foot, I know there's got to be some restrictions here, Meter, right? Something had to have happened. This just isn't, wasn't going to go away.
No, there has to be. There has to be. I mean, I think you won't see her on the field like you did during, spring ball when she was out there. Looked like she was running practice in her high heels.
Yeah.
In her boots. You love those boots. But it was a deal where I think they definitely have said, yeah, you can hang around a little bit, but you're not walking out into our practice field. And that's where it's at right now. So it's just going to be a couple months of fascination leading up to that TCU kickoff. And Cunningham should be upset. Is he running the department or is he not running the department?
Mm-hmm. Did you see the picture at the Miss Maine pageant of Belichick sitting next to Jordan's father? That is the most awkward picture ever. If that was on the cover of Time magazine, it would just have a big droopy face underneath. I mean, just like that.
Jordan's father's younger than us.
I know. Bill could be his father.
Oh yeah.
He's 74. She's 20. I mean, 73. She's 24. Apparently, she's had some opportunities. According to the Daily Mail, ABC is currently looking for celebrities to compete in the 34th season of Dancing with the Stars. Has reached out to Hudson about participating, but they say she's unlikely to say yes.
She should not say yes. That should not happen for another 10 years.
A source told the Daily Mail she likely will decline as it will be in the fall. The same time, Bill will be coaching, and she wants to be there for him at UNC.
Oh, of course she does. She wants to be there for him as he gets off the field. I don't know. I think it's just the distract, and that's the big story here. It's the distraction element.
Yeah,
that's if you're a North Carolina fan, that's what you're worried about.
And that's what it is going to be interesting. If they should start off 3-0, I think, before that Clemson game, and then
I don't think they're going to beat TCU.
I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to wait and see and really go. But yeah, I mean, if they get clobbered by TCU,
TCU's a good team. That's off the rails. Week one, and not just you that's saying that. Oh, they're going to start 3. They might start 3.
No, I said if they do.
What?
No, well, I'm just saying that they do have an FCS game in there that they should.
All right, so they'll win that one. But that's
that's and I don't know what they're going to be. I'm saying that my premise is, what if they do start off 3-0? Then the shit really hits the fan before the Clemson game, and then all hell breaks loose. That could be his worst case scenario. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they start 3-0, but if they did, and then all hell breaks loose before the Clemson game, man, that'd be something. But
yes, it would. But I think they're lining up in Death Valley already for Clemson LSU. You want to talk about that's a game? I know you haven't been there. That's a game you should go to, Pete.
Yeah, Death Valley. You mean? Yeah,
Death Valley, South Carolina. Yeah,
I'd like to go to both Death Valleys. The original.
I've been to one. I haven't been to the LSU one, but yeah,
I want to go to both. Absolutely, I want to go to both. Yeah, I remember your call back in the day. BC was a pretty big underdog going into Death Valley, and it was one of Matt Ryan's years. And they went in. I think you guys got down early, and then they came rolling back and beat them. If I remember correctly,
that's the game Matt Ryan left. What you got? Yes. It was one of the most pulverizing hits I've ever seen on a quarterback.
That's right. Yeah.
We thought he would not be back for a couple of weeks. Came back after one play.
I remember watching that game at Stanzi in the North End, the cigar bar, with a bunch
Stanzi.
of people. Yes.
I love it.
Yep.
They miss you down there, Pete.
They do. I miss all those guys. I still keep in touch with them. So anyway,
I'm sure you do. Smoke it if you got them, as Sheppard used to say on the commercials.
All right, what do you got coming up? What's your day going to be like today and tonight watching the game?
Today, I'm going to let it all wash over me, Pete. I got a quiet day today. A couple things on the docket tomorrow. But you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go see our good friends at Milton's, the store for men.
Great. Still got traded with them? They're still giving you free clothes?
Not exactly. That was one of the great deals of all time.
Absolutely was. Well, tell those boys I said hello. And
I will. I definitely will.
Anytime.
No problem there. Pete needs some new Peter Millar.
That's right. I don't wear a lot of suits here in Southwest Florida, but I would wear one on this show if it meant they'd come on and sponsor. That'd be great.
I will see what I can do for you.
All right, buddy.
Stop trusting X. Don't read those schedules off X.
I won't. Anyway, all right, buddy. Have a great and safe rest of your day. Thanks, and we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot.
All right, Pete. Have a good
John
one,
Peter Burrell. All right, Angel, that's going to do it for the show. We're going to have a great show tomorrow. Trevor Harris, not Story. I think Michelangelo. Gus Alonso will have a Preakness preview because there's going to be no show on Friday. Rick Horo. So we've got a loaded show coming up tomorrow. I have it all officially finalized for you, Angel, and in a mere matter of hours, once I get confirmation and no conflicting schedules. Dylan says, I'm going to call USF's new home Death Valley. Well, maybe once it gets built. No valleys in Tampa, though. No, it's true. All right, Angel, thanks so much for producing this whole thing. And then we will be back tomorrow morning at 7 in the a.m., everybody. Have a great and safe rest of your Wednesday. Celtic pride, baby. They're going to get it done tonight. Let's do it for Jason. See you back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bye-bye.
Come on and